Hello and welcome to Analytic Loop. This channel is all about helping you understand data analytics in a simple and practical way. Here, we focus on how to measure, monitor, model, and master your data so you can turn your numbers into meaningful decisions. As you watch this session, I would like you to relax, learn, and follow along. Lookup function from its name. Lookup means look for. What am I looking for? What should I look for in this particular data or in this particular column? That is majorly what lookup means and what lookup function is. So lookup function is what are you looking for in a particular cell in a particular column, and it makes work so easy that even when you don't have it in a particular table, you can bring it from any other table and it turn back to you. So for the lookup functions, we have two types. We have three. We have even HLOOKUP. So, but for this session, we'll be teaching ourselves on the VLOOKUP and the XLOOKUP. So from the name VLOOKUP, like what we have here, from the name VLOOKUP, the V there is called vertical. So you are vertically looking for something in a table or in a column. That is majorly what VLOOKUP is all about. So the VLOOKUP stands for vertical, and the lookup there is, so it's more of a vertical lookup. And majorly what it does is it perform a lookup, a vertical lookup, whereby it search for information or data downward to locate a value. That is it's so due to it starting vertically, so definitely it's going to start from the beginning, then it move down gradually. So it starts from the top downward. So that is majorly what VLOOKUP is all about. So VLOOKUP majorly, even when we want it to return something, as far as it is starting vertically and it's moved downward, it also look out for from the left to the right. That is, this is the left. Now I want it to return something back to me to the right. So that is major thing. So from the left to the right. So that is it. It is you looking out for something vertically downwards. But when it wants to return what you really want it to return, it return back to the right. So that is majorly. So if I want to look use the lookup VLOOKUP right now, that is I want to look for something now. If I said okay, because based on this now, we are going to be using this table. So let me really explain what this table is. So this is a table, it is a sales table, and this sales table, it has the sales ID, that is the ID of those that sold this product. That is, you can see we have a sale ID here and the sales representative here. So this trying to tell us that Aisha, her ID is X001, so that is her ID number. So this other ID number is for Musa. That is how this, that is for the sales ID and for the sales rep. So now I want to, and we have another table here that is the product table. And if you look at this product table, we have the product ID, the product name. So it means that this product ID, this P101 is for rice, P102 is for me. So this is the ID number and this is the product name. So it's just more like a matric number. So this is the matric number for the product name. So imagine I'm an investor and they call me, my matric number is 005. So yes, they can decide not to call me by my name Zainab, but call me by my matric number. So that is majorly what how this table looks like, and it's very important because it helps you to have a unique ID for even if rice is repeated 100 times, as far that the ID is the same, it helps you to be able to locate it very easily due to the unique name, the unique ID of that particular product. That is why it is very important for us to have a unique ID mostly in the university, because we have plenty Zainab, we have plenty Bayo, we have plenty Aisha, but with the matric number you can be able to locate each one of them. So that is majorly about the data we have here now. So we have the sales table where we keep record of all the activities, what they've done so far. But now we want to bring in the product name. That is, we want to know, oh, if this is P101, what is that? Which product particularly is this P101, this P103? What is the particular product name? So we can use VLOOKUP to bring it to us from this other table. So let's jump into it. So equals to, because like I said, we should always start with equals to, and we'll be looking for the product name from the other table. So we'll be starting with we using the VLOOKUP right now. So start with equals to VLOOKUP, equals to VLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, and it's asking lookup value. Now, what should I look for? That is majorly what the lookup value is saying. What am I looking for? What should I look for? So I'm telling you to look at this product ID for me. That is, look at this product ID. That is comma. Then it's asking me table array. In which table should I look for this ID for you? Or should I look for this particular cell for you? Where do you want me to go and look for it for? So we'll go to the product sheet. So this is the product sheet. Then it's asking table array. So it means it's not asking for the array. Now it's asking for table array. So it means the entire table. So we need to highlight all this table. That is, we can just drag it down, shift control down, then we'll move the arrow left to highlight everything at once. Then comma. Now it's asking column index number. Column index number is trying to tell you that in which particular column should I return back a particular um should I return back what you really want me to return? So now, like what we have here for VLOOKUP, VLOOKUP does not look at column A as A. It sees column A as 1, like from this highlight on my cursor now. This A right now, the entire this products column now is 1 for VLOOKUP. This is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So for now, we want it to return this product name. So it means it must return column 2. So now instead it will now put in, instead of me putting B, that is return what we have in B, I'll tell it to return back what we have in 2, column 2. Then it asks, is it approximate match or exact match? Yes, you can decide to say approximate match, like you should bring something similar to what is there, which you can see said approximate match. The values in the first column of the table array must be sorted in ascending order. But we don't want it. We want it to return back the exact match. And look at what it gives. It said VLOOKUP will only find an exact match. That is, it has to be the same with what we have in the other column. That is, this product ID, this P101 must return back this rice. This P102 must return back this maize. That is looking at this product ID from where I highlighted from, and come here also and look at it for me and return back the product name. So if he comes here and he doesn't see P101, it definitely is not going to return back rice to me because it didn't see this P10. So this product ID must be the same with what we have in the other sheet for it to be able to return back the exact match of this product name for me. So pick the first, then close. I'll click on enter. You can see that this rice is returned back rice to us. But let's drag down and see if it returned every other thing back to us. So double check on this. You can see it gave us some errors. Because why? As it was dragging, due to I didn't lock it, that is based on the cell reference we just finished watching, you see that it's not, due to I didn't lock it, it gave me some errors. So now we'll be having a lock part of it. That is where we'll be locking this VLOOKUP for it to return back. Let's see if we'll be having this error. So I deliberately did this for us to really see the important reason why we should lock when we are using our VLOOKUP. So now let's go to the proper VLOOKUP where we are going to be using the absolute reference to do that. So let's name this column as the product name, because I want it to bring back the product name from the other sheet for me. Product name. So product name. Now we said we are going to be locking this, and due to our we'll be using the entire table. We'll be using the absolute reference to do that, like what I showed us before in the first video under cell reference, where we will lock both the column and the row so that they don't change. That is, the dollar sign will be at the column and also the dollar sign will be at the row, so that it won't change as we are dragging. Nothing will shift, nothing will, there will not be error, there will not be any mistake or giving us back an error sign. So it will be equals to VLOOKUP lookup value, that is, what am I looking for? Yes, you're looking for this for us in the order table. So click on comma, then the table array. We come here, then we highlight the entire table. So Control Shift down, then arrow left, drag this. Now we've highlight we've highlighted this table. That is, the we've highlighted the entire table. So now we need to lock this, that is 83. So come here, that is our F4. Then we come to this D7, also our F4, lock this. Then click on comma. Then it's asking, which column should I return? We want you to return back column 2 for us. Column 2, then the range lookup. Now it's asking, is it true, that is the approximate match or the exact match? I want you to return back the exact match. Then I click on this and we close this, we click on enter. You can see this has returned back what we wanted. It has returned back the right. But let's see if this will give us an error. So let's drag down to see if it gives us an error or it's going to return the exact match as we have in the other product table. So double check. You can see that this didn't return back now because we were able to lock it, and as we were dragging, it was not shifting, there was no error. It came out well. You can see, everything here is fine. It's brought out all, it's returned back all what we wanted from the other table. So this is just a basic understanding of VLOOKUP and why it is always very important for us to lock our cell while we use them. We can decide to bring something else into this table. So let's bring the unit price, that is cost of purchasing this rice, fertilizer. So let's keep this unit price. So we shouldn't forget that when we are trying to log this cell, we use the absolute reference to do that. Absolute reference. So it's the absolute we use here. So now let's use another absolute reference example. So now let's give this column name unit price. Unit price. So now the same lookup. So equals to VLOOKUP. Click on this lookup value, that is, what am I looking for? Yes, you're looking for this product ID for us from the other table. Leave this comma, then the table array. We come to the product table, we highlight, shift control down, arrow left to highlight everything at once. Then before we click on comma, let's lock our table. So we have F4, then another F4, then comma, then column index number is asking which particular in the product table, which particular column do you want me to return? Yes, we want you to return column 4. I'll click on 4, comma, then the exact match. Now, so we'll be picking on that same false, then I'll close and click on enter. You can see this has returned back 15,000 for us. So let's drag down and it returned everything for unit price for us. So this is majorly the basics of how to use the VLOOKUP and the cell references at the same time, and the major reason why it is very important for us to lock our cell. So we'll still give this absolute. So for us to really understand that it was absolute reference we used to do this. So now let's walk ourselves through the mixed reference. Now we've been using VLOOKUP with the absolute or the SWA. So let's play around absolute mixed reference when it comes to reusing the column absolute and the row absolute. So let's call this mixed reference. Let's just leave it mixed. Yeah. So now If you can see this place, this particular row, we have the VAT and we have the 5% here. So I only kept this. Let me delete this. I only left this 5% here for us to use it as an example to play around mixed reference. This is not for VLOOKUP, but just for us to know how we can do some mini calculations use on the Excel using the mixed reference. So this VAT here is more like we trying to say that for any purchase in the market where we went to get all these our products for rice, fertilizer, maize, pesticide, there's extra 5% that they used to charge on every price. That is, if I am to move my rice from the market now, I must pay 5% of the unit price, which is the 15,000. I must pay it to the tax collectors in the market. So I want to calculate now to know how much I'll be paying. That is the 5% I'll be paying. And let's not forget, this 5 now is telling us that it is in D18. That is column D, row 18. That is where we have this 5%. And I only have this 5. I don't have any other number here. I don't have any other number there. I don't have any other number here. So I want to lock this row. That is, I want to lock row D8 in, not column D. I want to lock row D18, not the column, but the row. I want to lock it. And let's not forget in cell reference, we said if we want to lock a row, if so this is D18. Let me write D18 here. So if I want to lock this row now, it means I'm locking the 18, not the D. Let's not forget D is the column. So now I want to lock the 18. So it means my dollar sign will be in between D and 18. So it is locking the row. That is, dollar is the lock for row 18, not for column 18, not for column D. So that is it. So this sign here is to tell you that we are locking the column, not we are locking the row, not the column. So now I also want to lock this column. I can decide not to lock it, but I want us to see how we can also lock the column here. So this is equals to, then I click on this cell, that is cell I3. Now I want to lock the column because this is a column. The entire I here now is the column, but I3 here is the row. Now I want to lock the column. So let's not forget that our dollar sign will come before the I. So, and also when you are clicking on your F4, you can change it. Like if you click on F4 the first time, it will give you two dollar sign. That is dollar sign for the column and the dollar sign for the row. It's locking. This is more of an absolute lock. But I don't want that. I want for column. So we change again, F4 again. This is for row. This is not what I want. I'm not locking the 3. I want to lock the I. So we'll still repeat the same process again as F4 again. And the F4 has locked the column for me. So it means now I is locked. They'll click on times because I want to times it by this 5%, which is the VAT. So times, and I'll click on the VAT. Now for this VAT, I don't want to lock the column, but I want to lock the 18, that is row 18. So now I will also click on the from to the cell, then I'll click on F4 again. F4, like I said, this is for the absolute sign. This is not what I want. F4 again. This is now what I want because I want it to lock the row. So if it is for the row, the dollars have to come in between the column. That is immediately after the column, then it will lock it from the beginning of the row number. So and the row is 18. So now I have locked the column, which is the dollar sign before the I3. Now I have locked the row. Then I'll click on enter. You can see now. So now this is trying to tell me that 5% of 15,000 is 750. So now let's double check on this to see if we see it has returned for every other one for me. So now I have for 750, I have for 900. So if you can see now, if I double check on this now, I can see that this 15,000 was times by 5%. If I do the same for this, it's still the same thing. It didn't change because if I decide to not, if I don't lock it now, it will end up giving me error here. So let's see if it will give us error. Let's have a new calculation here where I didn't lock anything. Let's see if we will have error. So the same thing, that is equals to 15,000 times, let me just enter this, enter. It will give us for the first one, but let's drag down, let's see. You can see there is zero, there is error, there is zero because of this. Let me delete this. So now you see, it returned back zero because I did not lock it. That is why I didn't fix it that it's only you should times only by this 5%. I didn't do that. That is why it's returned back zero because it's not seeing anything. Because after this 5%, there's nothing left here. That is why it returned back zero. So these are the basics understanding that we really need to understand on our own. That is, it is important to always use your self-reference when it is needed, when you are trying to work on your functions. And that is, these are the basics also when it comes to VLOOKUP. Thank you for watching. If you found this session helpful, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who want to learn data analytics. See you in the next class.